So a couple weeks ago, we showed you how to make mead with craisins. Today we're going to rack it and take a taste, because, you know, why not? Hi, I'm Brian.
I'm Derica, and you're watching City Steading. To learn to grow and brew, and to take control of your food, hit subscribe now. And look at the links in the description below to find out where else you can find more about City Steading.
So like I said, we're going to rack this Craisin Mead, which is really just a cranberry mead. It's dried cranberries, but that's why they're called Craisins, because they're dried cranberries, like cranberry raisins. It took me a while to figure that one out when I was younger.
It's also because we're crazy.
Go ahead. As you notice,
No.
the paint can is back. Now
Yes.
This has been sitting since 11/12, so it's almost exactly 4 weeks old. Could we have racked this sooner? Absolutely yes. Why didn't we? We have a lot going on. That's the exact reason why. So this has been sitting under my desk, hasn't been opened. I have shaken it up quite a bit. And that way the fruit cap stayed nice and wet. I'm just going to try to punch down inside there. Oh yeah, that's just not a pleasant thing to do. And I'm going to get this started. I think we need a new siphon. This one's dying. I want to go all the way to the bottom.
You're not all the way to the bottom.
All right.
It's an illusion.
Now, there's a lot of craisins in here, okay? Some people will say, oh, you should put that in a bag and squeeze them out. They're right. I can totally do that, and I didn't. And you know why? I like to do things really simply, and sure, I could get probably another cup of juice out of this if I did it that way. I don't know, maybe. You can probably go all the way to the... Well, just be careful. We're going to be racking this, so it's not as critical to try to keep all the lees out, but we want to try to do the best job we can. When this gets racked again, using my 2-rack rule, that's when all that extra sediment will come out. Right now, I'm just going to say, oh, it is all the way to the bottom. Okay, then. But, as I started to say, there's a lot of cranberries in here. They have soaked up quite a bit of that juice. So we're going to tilt it on its side. We're going to get everything we can out. And I'm putting it into this container. I know this container is about a gallon up to here. And this, I know, is about 3/4 of a gallon. Slightly more. It's 3 liters. So that way I can put it in a smaller vessel so I have less headroom in the racking process. Because, I mean, you can use all kinds of things like glass beads and things like that. I tend to just use an appropriate bottle size. And this is probably going to get racked for about 2 weeks. And then we'll rack it again. And then we'll bottle it.
What he meant by that is we're going to let it sit for about 2 weeks, and then we'll rack it again.
It's going to get racked for about 2 weeks.
Just sitting is called racking? I thought
Sure.
This process is called racking.
It'll sit in secondary for about 2 weeks. I used to be the only one in this house that knew anything about this.
I learned things.
She did. She learned a lot. She doesn't even need me anymore. She could just do these on her own. By the way, all these spent craisins, they're probably going to go to our chickens. They'll probably love this stuff. Does alcohol affect them, though? But people have said it's not a bad thing to do.
If there's some types of fermentations that are actually beneficial to chickens. I don't think it has occurred because that's the lacto fermentation.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not lacto fermentation yet. I'm starting to think we might have more than 3 liters here. Oh, look at that. Saved by the bell.
Done.
Now, I could squeeze those out and I could try to get more and all that. I'm not really going to worry about it. What I might do next time I do this, if I want to make like a really big batch, is do it in a plastic bucket. That's probably the best way.
And in that instance, you probably will put the craisins in a bag.
Yeah, most likely. Whoops. It's not a City Steading episode on brewing if I don't spill something. So the first thing I want to do is degas this a little bit. You might notice I just have a standard spoon. Because I'm going to do it this way. Before anyone worries about it, what I'm really doing is stirring this, letting the gases out. So those heavier gases are still in this pitcher. They are protecting this brew, and they will continue to come out while it's sitting in secondary fermentation, which secondary fermentation is kind of a misnomer. It's not really fermentation, but there is just a teensy bit still happening. Most of the time you don't put it in secondary. Actually, you don't put it in secondary until it's done fermenting. Now by degassing, I'm letting out all those less than pleasurable flavors and smells. You might even hear some of the fizz on the second camera. You might hear that. Hear that? That is stuff that you don't really want to drink. Even if I was going to make this carbonated, I would still want to degas, because this is all the gases that have been there for a whole month. They're adding off flavors and things that we don't want at all. And I'll do this for another couple minutes. You don't really have to watch. Okay, I don't have to get too crazy with it, because like I said, we're going to re-rack this. Well, not re-rack. We're going to rack this so that we can let it sit some more, let it clear out some more, because it is just a wee bit cloudy. But before we do that, I actually want to take a reading on it. And as usual, to take a measurement, I'm filling up a graduated cylinder. I use a turkey baster. Why? Because it's convenient and easy. You can pour it, questionable. You can siphon it, even more dangerous. Just use a turkey baster, works really well.
We have a wine thief as well, that you can use that by all means.
They suck. Just saying.
Is that something you have to bleep yourself out on?
No, that's a perfectly fine
That
word.
one's okay?
Yeah.
We have to have the, what was it? The forbidden curses?
Yep. Okay, well, this is at 1.080. It started at 1.130. Methinks there's more sugars in this than we thought there was supposed to be. So hopefully it'll drop a little bit more. But you know what? Since we got it out here already, we're going to taste that. And actually 1.130 to 1.080, that's 50 points. Yeah, it stalled. Because that's only about 6% alcohol. You can tell it didn't really completely clear. Last time it totally cleared.
I'm fairly certain I sucked up some of the least when I was doing this. I could see the sediment coming into
Okay, well it wasn't real clear in the bottle anyway. It smells lovely though. Tastes awesome. It's really sweet, but it definitely tastes good. I'd drink it as is. But I'm thinking it did stick a little bit, so I'm just gonna take it off those fruit. It's entirely possible that there was more sugars in the fruit than we could account for.
At this point, it almost tastes like a soda.
Yeah, it kind of does, because I didn't fully degas it. Okay, if we're going to siphon, please, with the siphoning gear. But, you know, hey, that's how you know this is a real show. I didn't know what that was going to do. Last time I did this, I left it probably for like 2 months before I even touched it. So this time I'm not disappointed, because this is drinkable as is. I'm hoping it gets down at least like 1050 though. 30 more points would be nice, which really isn't all that much more alcohol. It's just, that's a lot of sugar to be left in there. Like, to me, that almost feels like a waste. I didn't need as much honey or that kind of thing. So it's just a little much. Now, it's entirely possible that I used more Craisins this time than last time too. I'm going to need the paint can. The paint can of siphoning. Paint. PCOS? PCOS. What do you think? Everybody's going to have names on this show, but they're not going to talk though. That's just weird.
It didn't talk. I talked for it.
Oh. Because that's so much better. Now I'm hoping that this doesn't overfill this bottle. That could be bad. You rewashed this, right?
I did.
In case I haven't told you lately, you're amazing.
Thanks.
The reason that I want to use a smaller vessel, by the way, is because if this has too much headroom and there isn't really enough gases, we could get oxidation in this, and we don't want that. That's how you can activate the acetobacters that are actually present everywhere. It's a bacteria that's just present everywhere. But they activate in the presence of oxygen and alcohol, and they will consume your alcohol and turn it into vinegar, which is nice, but not really what I'm going for. All right, so that's at the end. I'm going to very carefully get this out. I also don't want to waste any of this. That's good stuff. And we still have a lot of space in there. That's actually mildly concerning to me. You can fill that with more juice, you can put more liquids in there, anything you like to do. I'm actually just going to pour this little tiny bit in, and I know I'm probably creating a little bit of oxidation or a chance of it, but I don't want to waste it. What I will probably have to do, see that's just too much to me, is off camera, maybe I will have to, I'm going to have to rebottle this into something a little bit smaller, because see that amount of headroom, that's just too much. I can't really have that. But at the moment, I am going to put an airlock back on this. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit of pressure, because if this is still off-gassing, then we should still be okay. So yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick a bung in there, stopper, whatever you want to call it, reapply the airlock. Now, I know using your airlock is not really a reliable means of knowing about fermentation. What I want to see though is positive pressure from inside the bottle. So I'm going to give this a little bit of a shake, and it should, yeah, just like that. Immediately the gas started coming out, caused pressure, pushed up. That way I know I'm okay with this headroom because no oxygen's going to get in there, okay? There's already a cloud of CO2 in there. That's an important thing to understand. Normally this would be very bad, okay? But because I know I didn't fully degas and there's a little bit of CO2 left in there, it's going to constantly push out. Plus, I think it's still fermenting, just a little bit. Maybe taking it off the cranberries, maybe all that is enough that it can kick back up to fermentation and go all the way down to like 1030, 1040 like it's supposed to. It's not that far away, really. 30, 40 points is all it needs to be perfect. But this is going to go under my desk for another couple weeks, and we'll check on it and let you know how it goes. That's all we got for today. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you want to learn to grow and brew and take control of your food, hit the subscribe icon down below, and don't forget to hit that little bell. That way you get notified of everything we do. And if you really like what we do, consider becoming a patron. Information in the descriptions of all of our videos. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Are you trying to get into the holiday spirit, but you lean more towards the dark side? Fret not. You can show your inner joy through t-shirt form, now found in the t-shirt section of the City Steading Amazon store.